And then they're like, ah, it's so controlled here, I'm leaving. And honestly, this place, it's buzzing. So we got, I paid you, here.
我知道，我给你换一个钱味。
I don't need nothing.
So today I want to take you with me to the most mysterious part of China, the autonomous region of Xinjiang, and actually the capital of Urumqi. So I was wondering, can I go there? Can I move around freely? Is it going to be different from the rest of China? I've been to a couple of the big cities, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and I really had no idea what to expect. There is a major part of the population that is Muslim. My goal was to be on the ground, to walk around, to see how the people live. So join me as we dive deep into Urumqi, China.
So I'm in a very interesting and very different place of China today. As you see, maybe you don't, but it's very, very cold. And I'm in the very west of the country, in a state that pretty much half of the population is Muslim, the Uyghur people. Very similar to the Uzbeks, Central Asia. And in many ways still, it looks very much like China. I'm very close to the train station. Today I want to find out a little bit more why this region in some way is rather controversial. Let's see, 3609, my guy. All right. Whew, let's go, guys. Let's go to the old town. 你好. Bazaar? That is always one thing about China, the taxis are fantastic. Electric, look at that. Man basically has a spaceship. So right now we're pretty much headed to the old town of Urumqi to start off. There we should get the best idea, because the city is huge, pretty much the largest city in Central Asia, and you see it. Wow. Bye bye. Bye bye. So that was a nice ride here. Nice car as always. And we got to a very different looking, like seriously, driving through the city, it's quite surreal. In some ways, it's just like any other big city in China, depending on the direction you look. In other ways, the infrastructure, some houses, some people, some shops you see outside are so different. The thing is, most people in China are part of, let's say, the Han ethnic group. But there's around like 50, maybe even a bit more in China. And Xinjiang is the state where there's a lot of Uyghurs. And from what I was reading is Urumqi is one of the most different cities in all of China, because there's not many old, let's say, Chinese buildings. Obviously, lots of new ones, as you can see. But just a couple of decades, perhaps 50, 60, 70 years ago, it looked very different here. The Uyghurs are a nomadic tribe, so they used to live a very different life a long time ago. And now, I mean, I've been in all of Central Asia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan. This is uncomparable to it. This is a, what is it, 4 or 5 million people city, 4 point something, I think. It's huge. For Chinese standards, mid-size. For global standards, it's a beast. So let's dive into this market, the Grand Bazaar.
Alrighty guys, and real quick before we dive deeper into Urumqi, an absolute essential when I'm in China on the ground. I don't want to get lost. I maybe need a taxi. I want to orient myself. And for all of that, I need data. I remember when like around a year ago, I went to China in Shanghai. They wanted like $40 for like a 1 week SIM card.
10 days in China.
7 days, 1 week.
18 now.
Cheapest rate they have is $45 for a week. $45 for a SIM card? I should have set up my ESim.
And this is where today's video partner, Holafly, ESIM comes in. So an ESIM is basically a virtual SIM card. It takes a couple of minutes to install it, and you are connected to data in over 200 destinations around the world. And what makes Holafly really different is that they offer unlimited plans. So no more running out of data where you have to like rebuy it. Maybe you get disconnected, you get lost somewhere. And also, you don't have to fidget around with the SIM cards, get a local one, find the shop, then maybe you lose your old SIM cards. So much more convenient, and also you have data in the moments where it matters the most.
While still on the plane, already connected to data. Feels good. ESIM is where it's at.
And it's very easy to set it up just on the app. You select the country you're going to, you select for how many days you need it, and you can even pre-buy it before going there. All you need to do is to activate mobile data inside of the eSIM. So it works with pretty much all recent smartphones. You can check it on the website, and it literally takes a couple of minutes to set it up. And as of right now, with my link down below or the code GOTAWORLD to see, you can get 5% off any of their data plans. So just a little something on top to make it even a bit more affordable. So check them out, click the link down below right now to get your Holafly eSIM for your next trip. An absolute essential when traveling, that's why I also love to talk about it. But with that, let's get back to today's adventure.
Okay guys, walking into the International Grand Bazaar. This place is insane. Look at that. And what I just realized while I was wandering around there's a military car with pretty much snipers sitting there. That's quite interesting. Like, that's some of the most intense, let's say, Chinese military I've ever seen. So, to begin off this story of Xinjiang, this is obviously like a new setup, which is pretty cool. They're kind of like reimagining the traditional, I would say, very similar to Uzbek architecture. So the Uyghur people are the closest to the Uzbeks, and if you compare it to cities like maybe this looks like Bukhara. I think those videos are not out yet, but I've been recently in Uzbekistan, and the city of Bukhara has also like a column like that. This one is quite a bit taller. Like you see, it's not 500-600 years old like in Bukhara, but still pretty cool. Let's walk in, go away from those sounds. Let's talk about it. So it's definitely a tourist attraction, you could say, and I'm actually surprised so far how freely I can film around here. So I want to be just on the ground and show you how the real life looks here. But what definitely is the case that it's pretty much the most restricted and controlled regions due to just, let's say, instabilities that have happened here at times. And I think as of right now, it's much more calmer than in recent times. So I think years ago, it was much harder to enter here. For now, I got into Xinjiang very easily through the land border with Kazakhstan. You can fly in here. It doesn't offer like things like transit visas, but I think in some ways they're even thinking about making it a tourist destination, and this very much looks like so. This building looks actually quite a bit older. Is it a mosque? Not sure. But this market in many ways looks like they set it up. There's also a lot, I would say, even like in some ways mostly Chinese people shopping around here, enjoying themselves. So Google says that it's around 40%, 41% or something like that of Uyghur people. I was actually talking to some guys on the bus that are living in a border town, and he was basically telling me that this region has been changing a lot in just the last 10-20 years. Like, people used to live here in small houses, live the old school nomadic life, eat plov, shurpa, the usual things. They also do the Uzbek bread around here. I call it Uzbek bread, in this case the Uyghur bread. And it has changed a lot. A lot of skyscrapers came up. Obviously, what surprises me, I mean, that is central planning really, that the city itself, the big buildings and everything, it looks quite like the rest of China, and the prices are also very similar to other big cities I've been to. Pretty affordable. Like, you know, is it okay? Take a look. Yeah. Yeah, in some ways similar, in some ways different. Oop. You know, is it okay? Take a look. Yeah, it's okay. So basically they're selling traditional clothing. It's actually quite nice. Lots of details. Reminds me of my recent time in Afghanistan, where they also have these like hats. Generally the nature, the landscape is a lot like, you know, rest of Central Asia. You have tall mountains, you have, oh wow, these boots are nice. Nice boots. So it looks like they're doing photo ops here in the back. Yeah, you can travel back in time. So those were the old days. Or should I say Rahmat, probably. But it's been a long time, you know. It's been officially part of China since, what, 1940 something, or early 50s. So a very long time. Everybody obviously speaks Chinese on the ground, from what I understand, as well as to their own languages. And this park, kind of like lower buildings, but you see it's new. It's like built maybe 10, 20 years ago, 30 perhaps. Not like an old town in the other cities. But what I do like is that they're really selling a lot of different stuff. It's not just like touristy trinkets, but it's like proper. What do we got here? We got some solid dates. We got some raisins. All right, let me wander around a bit. And what I definitely also want to see today is a more modern side, eat some nice food. So the thing is, the Uyghurs are Muslim. So with that, that's also a conversation I had on the bus coming in here. It's hard for them to live in other parts of China because pork is life. In China, a lot of pork dishes. Actually, the way they make it is one of my favorite ways. I personally am a big lamb and beef guy. I prefer it whenever I can. And in this region, obviously, the food's going to be a bit different. But the thing is also, the other half of the population is mostly Han. So you get regular Chinese life. But in terms of development, it's on par with most, let's say, mid-tier, maybe even high-tier, I don't know. I mean, it's no Shanghai, but it's not that much different, you know, in terms of infrastructure, all the conveniences. And for me, this is not the first time I'm in China. Like Hong Kong, I've been many times. And recently to Shanghai. So once you figure it out, you get like the Alipay, you figure out transportation, you get used to using translator, because nobody's going to understand you in English really, very rarely. And then you're good to go. It's actually pretty easy to travel China, but it's extremely hard. Anyone I talk to who like spontaneously just takes off. Visa almost doesn't work anywhere in Shanghai in some places. And then, yeah, you know. So this has been the market. It's still early. It's not that busy yet. Maybe we're gonna pass through again. But let's see how real life looks like outside of those, you know, installations. So here's like jewelry. Let's check that out. Hello. Can you take a look? Oop. So maybe we can get some little souvenir. We got some rings. That looks pretty cool. Look at that. A donkey. Not sure how that made its way here, but made in China, of course. So that is the thing you're gonna notice here. All the young people are hanging on TikTok 24/7. I don't know how they build out this country like that. Oh, look at that. We got the nice bread. Uzbekistan series should come soon. Check it out. But even Tajikistan's already out. It's quite similar. But they're Persian, whereas here the people are more Turkic. Hello. Very nice. So we got barbecue here. Maybe later. Thank you. Very nice. Very good. So I'm walking into some type of shop, and there it says entrance, vchod, in the Chinese version, Arabic, Russian. Wow. Interesting. Where am I going in? Who knows? Whew. So some kind of indoor market. It's actually quite nice because it's literally -3 during the day outside. I'm here in late November. And it gets truly cold. But yeah, here's like more regular stuff, jewelry. So, Chinese market with a twist, I would say. So here's also like all kinds of different little shops. This is a different mall. And I read here inside that, wow, it smells nice. Got like different spices. I mean, look at that. This is stuff you only see in China. God knows what that is. If anybody knows, tell me. Looks like a dry dong. But where's the food court? Probably upstairs, I guess. And here, selling the traditional Uyghur music instruments again. Like always, all things that are very familiar to me from the other parts of the world close by where they live. Hello. Is real wolf? Not real? Okay. Too bad. So look at that. Very familiar tiles. So blue is all about like Samarkand and Bukhara, all the different, especially Amir Timur era used to build like that. There's like big public markets. And here you see then the tiling. Nice to put your fruits on, basically. Nice little tea sets, and yeah. Is it okay if I film? It's okay? Yeah? Okay. Oh, wow. And nice knives. You can cut your fruits and then put them on the plate. You know, food court? Up? Okay.
This one?
No.
This one?
So guys, let's head out, walk through security again. So after getting an idea of this market and seeing a little bit, let's say, the somewhat, yeah, can you call it traditional? It's traditional inspired, I would say it like that. Like mentioned before, in homage to the cities of Uzbekistan, because I even saw an Uzbekistan magnet. Walk through the markets, there's some Uyghur sellers, some Chinese sellers selling different stuff. Let's see the real city. Let's see how people live here. Let's get out a little bit. The modern, the old. Let's go. Wandered in some type of food street. Wanted to see the real life, but still here we are. Here we got some I don't know, how do they call them? Tandoor, pipa, dutar. And behind it, tons of police, maybe you see it. At first I thought it's like a one car type of thing, but they're everywhere. And to be fair, I don't want to be like, oh wow, never seen police, because you know, if you're like in the Philippines, they have a guy with a huge shotgun next to a grocery store, and honestly some markets in Europe could use a bit more security. I mean, I'm just saying that it is a lot, but it still feels very chill, at least around here. Hello. Hi. Some guys are like giving me a bit too much attention. I'm gonna be part of the content now. So it's very much like an attraction for, I don't know, Chinese people, I would guess. So that's for me kind of like, definitely want to see the real life, but if we're here, let's check it out. Let's check it out what they have set up here. Oh wow, that's actually nice. Wow. So they got literally the biggest and the smallest egg in the world. You can find in Xinjiang. So here you have the little baby eggs, and here, wow, what is that? A duck egg? I've never seen such a big egg. But here you got the amazing bread that they're making. Hello. Traditional way, super nice. Steamed dumpling, that must be Chinese overall. Turkish coffee.
Turkish coffee.
Very nice. So honestly, very nice food court. I am getting hungry. What should I eat? Should I eat what I've been eating for the last few weeks, which is plov and their bread? So for me, it would be almost trying something new if I would have some Chinese food now. Because, like I said, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, they all make the bread, they make the barbecue, they make amazing plov. If I see a good plov, I might try it, but I honestly might be opting for a Uyghur man making me some Chinese food. That could be something. Fresh ingredients. Here's kind of like a food court overall. So actually, look at that. The man is steaming the barbecue. So literally, a group of Chinese kids explores Xinjiang with a tour guide. Look at that. We got some funky organs. I am one of you guys. I'm with you. Alrighty guys, so this old timer, the fashion is strong. Like, that is truly interesting. I don't know what it is, but let's say the post-Soviet, actually the Soviet Union grandpas living in a post-Soviet world now, some of them dress like really gentleman-like. I think the decision is made. Let's try Uyghur plov, the most, I would say, common food. Hello. Can I have one portion? One portion? It's okay?
America?
Me? Ukraine.
Ukraine?
Yes, yes.
Uzbek, you down, huh?
I've been to Uzbek.
Uzbek?
Uzbek, very nice. You speak? Let's do small. Yeah. Thank you. So we got some Uyghur plov. The guys are very excited to see me. They do obviously understand Chinese. I don't know into what language I should switch it on my Google Translate to be more homey with them. Probably Uzbek. But yeah, let's try it. Nice and hot. Yeah, just as good as in Uzbekistan. The brothers went easy on the meat. I think they forgot, but they're sweethearts. I'm sure they didn't mean it. But just the flavor of the plov. It's simple rice, but it's so different from Chinese food. And this might be the last regional plov I'll be eating in Central Asia. So let's enjoy it. So I would say you truly see, feel, and hear the Uzbek vibe. So now that we got a little bit of a snack, let's dive into the more real city, like the side streets. I know they have a big business district as well here in Urumqi. And once you get out of the market, that is really how the city looks. Driving in a taxi, this is how most of it looks. Some newer, some older. Honestly, it is a good bit different from anything else I have seen in China so far, but not drastically. So like some maybe like 20-year-old buildings, more old school, but other than that, it's like a 50-50. It's almost like that's how it feels. Also how the population is. Some shops, some corners you are at, you don't feel it, and then others, you're like full on in Uzbekistan. So let's dive in a little bit. Let's see what we can find. Luckily it's warming up a little bit. And what I am surprised so far is that I'm filming everywhere and everything, and it's not a problem. So traveling here so far seems like a breeze. Now that is more what I'm talking about. We're going up 10-15 minutes, the vibe completely changes. Local, real trade. And I have to tell you, the old-timers, their fashion, I'm just a big fan. Their gesticulation, their body language. Seriously, people carry themselves here very, very big grandpa energy. So here we're having the bread, as always. And what I was basically saying is, this looks like a more local, more real market. More actually like people coming here to shop for stuff. And you see also the things that are being sold are quite a little bit different, like daily goods, socks, hats. And to be fair, sometimes it's obviously very easy to tell the ethnicity of somebody here, but sometimes it's like it's hard, you know. Some people are probably also mixed over the years a little bit. Probably doesn't happen a lot, would be my guess, from my understanding of these regions. But yeah, it's really funky. It's really funky. Like, my brain is exploding a little bit right now, because you're in Kazakhstan. People look very, very different from Uzbekistan. Much more Mongolian, much more Asian. Then you arrive in China and you meet your Uzbek brothers that you saw 3-4 weeks ago. That's when I was in Uzbekistan, and I'm just like, my whole, like, I'm like in a dream. I'm in China, but I'm in Uzbekistan. I'm in Kazakhstan, but I'm in Mongolia. A little bit getting everything mixed up, but I saw some skyscrapers in the distance. It'd be nice to also see a different neighborhood. So let's head there. Here's some type of business The men are gathering. Look at that. Now that's what I call local food. Not very talkative. Hello. He is. So I just wanted to stop by here to give you an idea. It's a nice, interesting fusion. So they're having Uzbek food, they're having plov, but right next to it they're also having dumplings that are steaming. They're very Chinese style. So the market, got to give the customers what they want. And as I'm walking down the street here, just trying to understand this place a little bit more. It depends the source you check. I just checked Wikipedia. There it says it's only 12.5% Uyghurs here, 75% Han. On the street it definitely feels more, and the more I walk around, I do have to admit that it is different from anywhere in China. While in terms of the systems, the infrastructure, it's kind of the same, the overall vibe is quite different. So I've heard also that is the second spot for today. I want to see how the city looks, obviously, and there's some type of lookout spot we can head to. It's in that direction, so let's see what we can find on the way there. And as I'm walking, I mean, I guess it makes sense. There's a metro station. It's a huge city. I have not seen it on the map. Let's check it out. I'm freezing like crazy. My hands are barely moving. But what I saw behind the train station is quite intriguing. A very Uzbek looking, very, I would say, Uyghur looking building. But at the same time, it has the Chinese, I don't know how these like red things are called, and have like dancing statues. Woman is dancing, man is playing the instrument. Wow, this building really sticks out from the whole skyline. Right here, let's check out what that is. We have it in Arabic, we have it in Chinese, something from 1957. Basically it looks like some form of theater. Very interesting. So what strikes me as quite interesting is that there is a lot of cultural things from them around here. The market, the theaters, I think we started off at the market. Is kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if other neighborhoods are much less, that different people concentrate in different areas. But honestly, quite nice to see that they're keeping all these things, because from what I understand is the Han population went up a lot in the last couple of decades. Since 1990, basically, the city economically grew like crazy. With that, the population, mostly people from the rest of China, came to live here. When I first heard that, I was like, wow, why would you come? But now I understand, actually. It's like a proper big city. And there's again military cars. So I decided to check out the subway. I'm exploring. I want to see different parts of the town, not just go to, I don't know, some kind of market, or I don't know. Let's drive up a little bit. It seems like that's where the city is concentrated. Okay, look at that. We do have English. Where are we though?
这个南门站，这个
This one?
你到哪？到几？
This,
是南门。
this is where?
这个是现在是，等会儿。
This
我知道
station is
这个现在是，哎，这个南门站，这
This
个
one,
这个，就
Nanmen?
啊南门对，这是
Okay.
南门啊，那是国际机场，
谢谢。
山东边。
We understood each other. We're at Nanmen. So let's go to... Where should we go? Let's go to Nanhu Square. How about Nanhu Square? That sounds exciting. Okay, inside the station right now. I think we're going to be probably going to the, would be my guess, a bit more business district, because we're a little bit further outside of the city, like where on the map it says like the center. And something happened to me in China that never happens. Already a couple of times I just realized that I am getting approached by Chinese people in Chinese, asking me questions. It's clear they're like looking for directions or something like that. And I think they know there's people here that look different. So with full confidence, they speak Chinese to me. An older lady helped me actually to get a ticket. She was very nice and sweet. I actually didn't know what to do. So they have bathrooms in all of the metro stations all over China. I've mentioned it before in the China video and they were like, oh wow, you're so impressed by toilets. You see, the thing is, in most of the world, especially in Europe, they don't have toilets. They don't have toilets in the metro. And here they do. It's a lifesaver. Ugh. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Close to the urinal, close to civilization.
Please take your belongings in margin stand when climbing from the tram.
So we made it to Nanhu Square. So I would say I did overdo it a little bit. I'm further than where I wanted to be. But here is truly real life. I might take like a taxi. But kind of like markets, busy, food. And like I expected, a bit more, less, you know, more Chinese people around here in the back. Let's do one. Or maybe this one. I paid you. Here.
我知道，
15?
我给你换一个钱味儿。
I don't need nothing. I paid you. Thank you. Okay, 谢谢. Bye bye. So guys, that was a very interesting moment with a local lady. So I bought some of these fancy grapes I wanted to try. First time I saw them was in Kazakhstan. They were selling them for like $8. Crazy. Here I paid 2. I asked her how much for a kilo, and then she waited for me, and then she typed in 25 yuan into my Alipay, which is like $3.50. But actually it's 15 yuan, which is more like 2. We got grapes. We got grapes. That is the thing, is like if you don't speak the language, especially here, like tourists are not common, so she just speaks to me. She just keeps speaking to me, and I'm just standing there like, oh. But yeah, we're good. Super nice, fresh fruit market. Wow, look at these grapes. Just look at them. Now that's what I call some nice, proper grapes. And generally that never happened to me before in China. Maybe she also just made a mistake, honestly. To give her the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know what it was with the cash payment at the end. So yeah, let's make it to the viewpoint. I would say let's do that. And so we have wandered into a park. What's it called? Something peak. Basically, we're making our way up to get an idea of the city. And what is it? I mean, on the weekends probably buzzing. Generally, Urumqi in the summer probably it's quite a bit of a different vibe because the leaves are down. It's cold. It gives everything also kind of a bit of like a mysterious vibe. It's interesting. But here's like a playground, you know. It's called the Hongshan Mountain, where we're heading up right now. So here they set up some like Chinese temple thing, but it's basically like an attraction park on the mountain. Got a Ferris wheel, a couple of roller coasters, and all of that with the view. Not bad, not bad. Let's see the view. So here we are, all the way on top of the mountain. Super cool lookout spot. Right now it's quite hazy, the sun's coming from the other way. I don't know, is it pollution, is it the cold weather, a mix of both probably. But you see, it's a ginormous city. I mean, 4 million people. For China it sounds like, you know, rather small to me. They have the 10 million, 20 million, Shanghai 25, Chongqing like 32 million in the region, things like that. But still, definitely an enormous city. And actually what is quite funny is little grandma just approached me. That doesn't happen often. She wanted to talk to me, very sweet. here, the one that's standing around there. And you know, it makes you just like question when you're in such interesting, unique places with a unique history. You know, the person like that, old grandma, is she visiting? Is she living here? If she's coming from somewhere else, why is she visiting? What are her thoughts? What is her life experience? You know, those fascinating things. And yeah, maybe I'm getting old myself a little bit, but truly it's a very interesting experience for me to be here. In some ways I'm happy I'm only here for one day because I'm freezing my butt off. But as you see, we're looking at modern Urumqi. I'm seeing some screens in the back, tons of cars. Let's get in there. Let's see what's going on in modern Urumqi. Grandma is back at it again, discussing things with some other boys. Looks like I'm not special. Teaching them the Chinese way. Oh, sweet old grandma. So we're all the way up. Quite a sick spot. Amazing lookout view. So basically there is some type of a red... That looks pretty old actually. And then we're looking pretty much all over the city. So from here you're getting a nice 360. Don't know what all these signs mean. Probably don't come... Oh no, don't throw garbage off. Alright. I did not plan to do that. This is the Instagram red Xiaohongshu lookout spot. Those are Chinese social medias. We are, I would say, in the Manhattan of Urumqi. 5th Avenue, basically. I mean, seriously, a big contrast to everything we've seen so far. It's even a bit more development over here than I expected. Got some big buildings, probably mostly business, banks, some big mall. Let's check that out. Let's check that out before I freeze to death. Made it into the, I think, CC Mall it is, and I mean, like any other mid-sized mall in China, pretty fancy, electric cars everywhere. Ooh, and I could really use a coffee right now. I don't know what we can get here. So nice, like, open roof, daylight coming in. And I gotta tell you, here you couldn't even tell really in what city in China you are. Like, mostly just Chinese shops, international shops, anything as per usual. Success! We are in a space spot basically. Little massage spot. Keeps talking to me. Woo! Interesting. Just paid it with Alipay over here. And we're off to the races. It's hitting my back. See that? I got you. I understood. Okay. Probably the machine is telling me, bugger off. And so after spending a good, what is it already? 8 hours wandering through Urumqi. Very different neighborhoods. I would say finally we're gonna check out a little bit this modern street. I think this is the tallest tower. And let me share with you my thoughts, my honest thoughts on how it feels. What I didn't expect, what it's kind of like how I thought it would be. So a little under pathways. It's definitely colder than I expected. Looks like Kiev. That's funky. Advertisement to study in the US. So this neighborhood is truly buzzing. So many people, that's how I know China. And definitely much more street vendors. And going into side street, the men with the hats that I came to know and love. Seriously, the old people, they just know how to dress. They have something about them, you know. Back in the old days, you had to look proper. There was one way to dress. And then when you get an old timer, you see it's all ironed, it's all cleaned. It's a matter of self-respect in that generation. I like it. So, I'm not exactly sure where I'm wandering in right now. So back there is certainly the business district. Here, looks like some other kind of business they're doing. What do you sell? What's that? Shampoo. Very nice. I thought it was like a very big condom. Yeah. Okay. I don't need it, but thank you. 谢谢.
Yes.
My brother. Guys, it's so cold. My throat. I actually remember a little bit of my Uzbek lingua. Rahmat is thank you. And Uzbek language, but it's also the same in Tajik. In some ways, the language have similarities, even though the Tajiks are Persian. But yeah, it's quite surreal to see a big part of Uzbek culture here in China on the ground, mixed with China that I know, really. So, smoking is a huge thing in China. Everybody having a cig on the street in terms of that. And honestly, I think as long as you don't cause trouble, this is my personal experience on the ground, it can be hard getting around. Like I saw some people on the internet, they were like arriving in China, they cannot figure out their app, how to get around, they cannot figure out the VPN situation. Not all VPNs work. And then they're like, it's so controlled here, so bad, I'm leaving. And then you leave to go where? I mean, really, like, if you don't cause trouble here, you're gonna be good. And out of personal experience, I wander around in China more freely into places than maybe in other spots. And honestly, this place, buzzing. So we got the pomegranate man in front of me. So you see, it sounds like somebody recorded their language and now it's just yelling. So they even, like, the Uyghurs, the Uzbeks of the region, they're up with technology. They're not standing themselves anymore yelling into the microphones. They're recording the voice and blasting it. It's quite funny, actually. We got some cut melon on the side of the road. And yeah, this is the first time actually I'm seeing something like that in Urumqi, like a proper, yeah, really busy market. Almost a Nepal vibe it gives me in terms of the busyness, how much there's going on here. But yeah, that's quite cool. One street next to it, super modern. You go on the back street. I mean, Shanghai has that to some extent too, but not like that. Not like that. I gotta be told. The dude's just driving through here, and I'm right after him. He's carving the path for me. So at this point, my flight's already in 3-4 hours. So we definitely have to make sure to get soon to the hotel. What I did notice is that accommodation in this part of China is even more affordable, like what you get for your money, than anywhere else. Like really good hotels, like 4 or 5 star, go for $50, some of them. And then like nice, basic, clean room. Look at that, the Chinese grapes. They're really good actually. In other countries, they sell them at a huge premium. So look at that. Abduheni's cuisine. Hello. Some people are very receptive to the camera, others are normal. Like, what are you doing? I get it. But you feel the vibe. It is different. It is a unique place in China. I'm gonna say that. And then you wander into a hot pot place. The grill is popping, and it smells good. That I can tell you. Ooh, last couple of minutes in Xinjiang. So that is definitely different. I wandered into a very busy mall, no other way to say it. And it looks like it's mostly like local people, business. Super interesting, like the way the industry operates here is really like in the olden days, in the sense of it's a lot of buyers, you know, a lot of people go to these like little mall shops. Look at that, the first time I'm seeing a plus-sized man. Boys, we gotta fight for our rights. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, for real. Interesting. So the one takeaway that I have actually from wandering through this neighborhood, also these like shops, is the Uyghur people, especially the women, they really know how to dress. I mean, before I was like, where was I? Local markets, mostly grandpas walking around. I already appreciated their drip, but here it's like younger people, and also we're like in the more fancy area, obviously. So you're seeing some of them are also, you know, having their own like also like different, very different fashion. So oh yeah, that is the tallest building of Urumqi. Looks like it's the CITIC Chinese bank. I don't know, I guess like 200 meters maybe. So nothing compared to like Shanghai or anything like that, but the city doesn't have like the tallest skyscraper still, you know. The moment actually I crossed from Kazakhstan into here, changes. Like the buildings go from 10, maybe 15 floors to like starting at 20, 30. That's a small one pretty much. Yeah, let's talk about it. So first of all, this neighborhood is quite nice, quite interesting. It's like some older buildings. Even the skyscrapers looks like they have been here around for at least, like I would say, a good 10-15 years would be my guess. I think this is the bank, the tallest tower. From the viewpoint we already saw it. Let's say like that. I started off today's journey going into the Grand Bazaar, and it's very, like I said, inspired by Uzbek architecture, by what's it called, Timurid architecture. The columns looks a lot like Bukhara. And what I didn't mention is actually also this part of Xinjiang a long time ago used to be obviously also part of the Silk Road trading route, transporting goods from China to Europe. That's what like really Uzbekistan is famous for. That's when the golden era was, when they built all these cities there. And there in this neighborhood that we were in the beginning, it felt like 60-70% don't look like, you know, the classic Chinese. Like, you know, the Uyghurs, they're also Chinese, they have Chinese passports, things like that. And that was actually a guy that I met in the previous video when I was arriving here. He shared with me a lot. And they're really like, in some ways, old school life, but the Chinese also do it old school in terms of the street food, grilling up stuff, street food on the street, things like that. A little bit older, that neighborhood. And then we're here, and if you would just drop off somebody that has been in China before, maybe if you really know China, if you would live, you might see some nuances that are a bit different. But other than that, like the malls, everything else, feels like really, for the most part, regular Chinese cities, and all the good and perhaps busy ways of how it is sometimes. Still struggling sometimes myself to navigate China. It's definitely one of the bit more challenging countries to travel, because in terms of like signs and language, you know, you got to get used to using Google Translate, which I very rarely do. I became good at sign language. And what I didn't expect actually is that they would really kind of like put in scene this whole Uzbek culture, make this whole old town, make it kind of like a travel destinations. Everywhere there's like drawings of like Uyghur people dancing on signs, on lots of merchandise. Like this whole neighborhood is really all around that. So I was thinking maybe it's just a group of people that lives in all of the city, in all of the state, and people just live together, or who knows, you know, maybe you don't see their culture that much, but actually in many ways it's almost made into a tourist attraction. And to be fair, Uzbekistan itself is probably much busier tourism than here. Like that's what I didn't expect when I was in Uzbekistan, is actually that the cities are so full of tourists. And I think most people don't really know how these two groups of people, they're more or less the same from what I've been told culturally. But here I do have to say a little bit more fruit street stands, things like that, than let's say I saw in Shanghai or Suzhou or cities like that, Shenzhen. But I like it, I dig it. This is actually the first time. Look at that chicken, looks really good. But as always, of course, it's fully China developed in the sense of, okay, let's cross the street. Alipay everywhere, easy to get around. Even the metro. I don't think there's that many metro lines in Urumqi, only that one I took. But it goes through the whole city, pretty much, all the way to the airport. And I am actually quite excited to be back in China. Let's wrap up the video, I would say. I'm gonna probably film another video how I'm gonna be leaving and where I'm gonna be leaving. I'm not leaving China quite yet, in some way. I don't know if I should already share with you. Should I do it? But Basically, I crossed the land border to get here from Kazakhstan, and it's a different world. I mean, here truly, like, I didn't expect to be eating love here necessarily, but we did that even. But over the next couple of days, it's gonna be truly China. We're gonna be going to the state of, what is it, Guangdong. Gonna be going to some cities I've never been to, always wanted to go, and kind of kicking it off here. In some ways very different from the rest of China, in some ways extremely similar. So unique history, and truly, definitely, without a doubt, the busiest city in all of Central Asia. That has been Urumqi. If you want to see where I am right now, you can join me on Instagram. And well, I'm gonna be getting out of here now. Next stop, it's gonna be Hong Kong for a couple of days. So we made it to Urumqi Airport.